I don't like being lied to by the government, and I don't think any of us do.
Who's lying to you from the government, Stefan? Who's lying to you from the government?
All those statistics. We call them the Bureau of, I've had to change my wording. I used to call them the Bureau of Lying Statistics, and then I had to change that to the Bureau of Lagging Statistics.
There's that very famous cliche, there are lies, and there are damn lies, and there are statistics, right? Those are the categories of the depth of lying. Once you start using statistics, you can really fortify the lie. But I think this is one of the more brilliant things, frankly, about your journey and the brilliant things about what you guys are doing. I mean, you're literally getting a real-time assessment of where things stand, and I think it's something that I'm always puzzled by why it hasn't been adopted yet. That's the thing that's a great puzzlement for me, because it's just a better tool. So if you have better tools, this is the weird thing about our lives now. The blockchain is a better tool. Okay, well, we're not going to adopt it. Why? Well, we have the American banking lobbyists, and they don't want to adopt it, and so they're going to put money into the coffers of the Congress, and they're going to stop the adoption. Oh, okay. And you got Elizabeth Warren. She's apparently for the poor, but she's spewing talking points from the American Banking Association. So you're sitting there saying, okay, how are we going to do that? But generally, when there is better technology, generally throughout history, when there's better technology, it ends up getting adopted, it ends up getting used, generally.
Yeah. And I think we've seen that, right? I mean, Bitcoin's been around since, 2009, 2010, 2011. It's grown. I was very fortunate to get in very early by a developer asking me to get paid them in Bitcoin. So that was an amazing journey. But despite everything, this is now, I think if we look back and you look at this industry that's now morphed into this $3 trillion industry over the course of 10 to 15 years, that's pretty amazing, despite all of those challenges that you mentioned. I think it's an amazing progress. And what I tried to do was try to use basically this decentralized ledger, convert it into a database, and put the data on there and have data verified by individuals and systems that would allow for us, and anybody, by the way, to access all of this data and build their own indexes off the back of it. We just launched with the inflation index, and I think, again, shout out to you for really giving us the visibility on the World Economic Forum stage, as you did, and just highlighting new technology.
My pleasure. And again, you have a great product. I'm on your website a lot, by the way, and nice. I think Anthony Pompliano, and him and I talk about it a lot. He brings it up a lot. I had breakfast with him after I got back from the World Economic Forum and said, Ant, you got to look at this stuff. It was a young computer programmer that introduced me to your product. He was a Carnegie Mellon young man, maybe 25, 26, and he said, listen, take a look at this data, and you'll find that this data is more accurate. Now, the weird thing about it is we have an arbitrage now between the accurate data and the data that the government wants to use to make policy decisions. So that's a weird thing, isn't it? That I have a better tool for you. Here's a surgical tool that I can operate on your body with, and it's better, and it'll cause you less pain, and you'll recover faster. But excuse me, pass me the chainsaw, or we're going to go operate on your body. So. But you'll get there. You'll get there. Your business and who you guys are, and as smarter younger people get into the government, one of the biggest problems in America right now is the political sclerosis. We've got a 79-year-old president. We had an 81-year-old president, so we picked up a younger president. We got a 79-year-old president. We've got 200-year-old people, I guess, in the Congress. I don't know. It's bad.
But we do have this SWAT team. I mean, the Doge team that's in there, that's a bunch of young Canucks going in there, smart, highly savvy, and have been talking about blockchain a lot. And we've written some open letters. And by the way, we have acquired we're now at about 300 to 400,000 monthly active users, depending on the month and depending on But generally we're actually extremely visible, got a lot of attention, but people still want us to slow down our calculations, move and correlate, sort of edit the numbers so that we're as corrupt as an old numbers that the government's using, so that we can help them predict the actual government numbers better, so that they can actually trade on the $5.5 trillion worth of inflation protected assets. We have all this data now. We have 100 million data points. We have all verified, accurate. We have a process. We have a consensus algorithm. It's all on the blockchain using SQL, which is the standard for databases. And what we're trying to do is leverage that data. How do we now get builders to build financial products off the back of that data? Indexes. What kind of indexes could be created, and where could they be traded in the future as futures, perpetuals, or even then having contracts associated with those futures on chain? I think that's a big area that I'm really trying to push our team towards, thinking like that.